Sweet. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I don't know where K-ball might be here in short order. But maybe we give it a couple of minutes to see while people trickle in. How's everybody's Friday? How y'all doing?
Good, good. Had AI put together a talk for me, so that was good.
We like that. Oh, I'm already liking the pixelated kind of gamer
Is
interface
that
here. This
is that
is
me?
tickling.
Yeah,
There you
that is, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Definitely tickling my pixel art a bit of my brain. Approved. Approved.
I'm
Because
gonna
you
steal that for my next OS UI.
Right. Right.
yeah, Solano, I saw you on Yikes's stream. You had the Mac OS
Hey.
with the movable windows. I was so jelly. I was like thinking like, all
I
right,
mean,
maybe I want these to.
yeah, I just prompted Claude to say like, "Hey, make a Mac OS UI," right?
That's so good. Yeah, I so then I was thinking like, all right, I gotta get my shit together. And so my home base, I need these to be more like movable or whatever.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I
If
don't know.
if
Oh,
you
yeah,
if
go
you
ahead.
do that, like, feel free to clone from my stuff because like moving windows quickly and stuff like that, that was like a little bit more work.
Oh, okay, nice.
Um,
Yeah. I'll steal more for you. Sounds good.
Steal the good ideas. That's the best
Hmm.
thing. Cool. Well, speaking of good ideas, I don't see a cable, so I'm down to hit the record button and kick it off. If unless you guys want to wait around and see, we got 15, so we got a decent little crowd. So I think we'll be in good shape.
I figured I'd start at the 5 minute mark
Yeah, that seems
just for
wise.
even odd numbers.
What do you think? You think it's gonna be about an hour? You got a good time block or
I have not timed it. When I told the AI to make the presentation for me, I told it it was going to be 45 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
I
Nice
have
approach.
not done a run through yet either. So it'll be an experience. I think it did
Perfect.
a good job. I like flipping through the slides. It's the first time that I feel like I'm only going to be a little bit embarrassed, whatever this
Honestly,
is.
I'm a huge fan of make me a slide deck with HTML, CSS, JS in a single file and just like make me one. I'd like that. I've been using that for I don't know, probably a good 6 months now. I love them. They're a big fan.
Yeah, so pretty close. So I even before AI, I had a presentation, I guess you can call it framework called Power Slides, and so that's what I always use. But it picked it up, figured out how to put the slides in there.
I wonder how long until you're just having your agent generate the slide deck and generate the presentation, and then we're just sending our instances of OpenClaw to attend.
I mean, yeah, I mean it pretty much did the whole thing. I can we'll do like a little bit of a preview. So this is the Discord thread. Yeah, working on a presentation, and I linked it to just like where the Power Slides instance was, and then it cleaned it up.
I only see the screen, the Vibecoding anywhere with OpenClaw still.
Oh, you only see. Oh, you don't see it when I switch tabs. Oh,
Oh, maybe it's
that's
just me. Yeah.
no. Does
No,
anybody
same.
see?
It's not
You only see
just you.
the. All right, so you guys all see just the presentation right now, the landing page. All right, that's good to know now because
Yes.
I want to be able
Yes.
to.
Currently,
All right, let's see.
I
Window.
I only see the vibe coding anywhere thing with Claude.
Okay, even still right now. Oh, is this all messed up?
Still, yeah.
All right, if I change slides, are people seeing my slides?
No.
Still seeing vibe coding anywhere with OpenClaw.
Okay, so it's not updating at all. Well, sorry guys, what is going on? All right, so share screen. Chrome image. All right, well, I guess I could do Chrome tab. I guess that would. Chrome tab. Oh, hold on, region. Let's try this. Let's try this. Wait.
I don't know if this helps, but I did the same thing when I tried to do the paper in the paper club, and there was 2 different options. I had to unshare and then reshare, but the entire browser rather than just a single. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah. So can you? All right. What do you guys see now? You see Vibecoding anywhere, and then do you see anything different now, or you still see Vibecoding anywhere? Okay. And then do you see? Okay, and then do you see another slide or no?
It changed now to the demo.
Now it changed? Okay. All right. Cool. All right, we can work with this. All right, well, I guess 107. How about we get started? Hey everyone, I'm David Guttman. I'm going to be sharing with you sort of my multi-year chasing of the white whale of Vibecoding on my phone and where I've gotten to. I'm going to start with I guess where I'm at now. So the demo is I'm going to show you Discord. I'm going to tell it to make a change, and then the change will happen. So I have to mess around a little bit to get this because it's not showing you the tabs. But so hopefully this isn't too painful. All right, so you can see Discord here. This is what I was talking about. Everyone can see Discord. Can I see Discord? Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Cool. All right. So this is what I was saying before. All of the apologies in advance. This entire presentation is AI generated, like the entire thing. So this is how this goes. This house of Haku. This is my OpenClaw. My OpenClaw agent's name is Haku from Spirited Away. He's like my henchman that does my dirty work. I've got different channels for it. This is where it orders me lunch, just general stuff. And what we care about is projects. So this is the general project one. And so today, for the demo, I have a project called Rambly. If I guess people haven't seen that before, that is I'll just show you the video real quick. So that's this one. So this is like a 2D multiplayer game, but it's not a game. It's just positional audio. Back during COVID, this is where I moved all of my meetups. And so for our little purposes today, we are going to make it so that when you go to the intro screen and you create a space, you can select which map that you go to, because right now you can't, and it always drops you into the desert one. So important to all of this is home base. This is where I run all of my projects locally. So we were just seeing my talk. My talk is this one. Oh, I just opened a new tab, and you can't see the new tab. So that's where this is running locally on my machine. So there is a Rambly instance. This is like the local server of Rambly running here. You can't see the URL bar. All of my local projects are on jump.sh. So the URL that we are seeing right now is rambly.jump.sh. Actually, yeah, you can see it right there. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go back to Discord and tell Haku to change that little intro screen to let you select a map. So I'm going to say, feature dev on the I guess, join room screen. Actually, why am I even typing? Add a map select drop down. This will be where someone chooses whether to push to talk or open mic. Let them choose maps between the island, the desert, the forest, and cyberpunk maps. Cool. Okay. So I was saying this in the Discord. Back when I started with ClaudeBot, there were no Discord threads, so that was my contribution to the OpenClaw ecosystem. Okay, so the transcription tool of choice. This is VoxType. Mind blowing up the font size a tab. Yeah, there you go. Is that better? Good font size. Great, cool. Yeah, so I use VoxType. I run Arch, by the way. So, all right. So right now, Haku is thinking. This is going off to Opus. I guess while this is going, I can show a little bit what these have looked like in the past. So I have another app that I'm working on. This is an options trading app. So it's got like portfolio and trades and stuff like that. So a lot of the work that I've been doing is for that. So that's over here. This is Trade Tracker, and so we can scroll up and see what I don't know. All right, so I opened up a thread, and I just wanted to change where the emails were coming from. And so it finds it, and then merge and push, and me being mean to my agent, stuff like that. All right, let's go ahead back over here. Cool. All right, so feature dev on the join room screen. Here's what I found. Character select. Okay, let's do it. Sound check. Map situation. Found them. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, quick question. Oh, where should it live? On, yeah, character select. So 2. Oh, I wanted to know about the desert. Let's see if we can come back to that. I guess the problem with the live demo is, I guess Opus 4.5 is not super fast with the OpenClaw. So let me see if I can. Is it a separate channel per project? Okay, so I'll answer questions while this is going on. So I have different channels for project, but I only have a couple. Most of them I would just throw in the general projects room. But once there's something that I'm working on enough, I create a channel for it. And then within the channel, when I create, a feature dev, it creates the thread for me. Okay, so map dropdown, pick character below the name. What's your name? Okay, which world, island? Yep, cool. That's fine. That's fine. Data flow. Let's see, the random map name is after. So let's see, I think that should help it. Let's see. Part of me thinks that I should have done a sort of shorter fix, but I did want you to see the whole, let's see, hold on. Monitoring coordination for OpenClaw agents. No, I guess I don't really have monitoring and coordinating UI except for the Discord for the agents. Okay, do project channels have any special repo access prompt, or is it just to make it easier to keep track of things? It is just to make it easier to keep track of things, except there is a system prompt for the room that makes it know that if I'm in the Rambly room, it knows which project I'm talking about. If I am just in the generic projects channel, it will use the project skill, which knows which directories to go look and stuff. All right. Cool. All right, design. All right, so it's asking ready, if this all looks good, ready for implementation. Yeah, go for it. All right, let's go look at the questions again. Is this all synchronous, one turn at a time, or is OpenClaw doing things while waiting for responses? It is definitely turn-based. So when I say, it's not doing anything, so it says ready to set up for implementation, it is idle until I say anything. When I say yes, it's going to do a whole bunch of stuff, itself before coming back to me. Am I running OpenClaw in a container or on my local machine? I am running it on my local machine with all my sensitive data and everything. So that is where I am pretty cavalier and YOLO. Your mileage may vary. All right. Presumably this is via Discord skill for OpenClaw, or did you have to rig up your own MCP or something? One of the things that OpenClaw has on just like using Claude Code on its own has amazing integrations with Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, iMessage, Telegram, Signal, on and on and on. No prompt injections. Let's see. Right. So I guess I can go into the lethal trifecta: sensitive data, access to untrusted content, and communicate with the outside world. Theoretically, my agent should not be visiting any pages or sending things to the outside world that isn't really coming from me. I understand that is not, ironclad, but that's how I feel on the whole lethal trifecta, is that it definitely is a F on the sensitive data, but I try and keep the other two corners of the triangle somewhat minimized. All right. One OpenClaw instance running per one channel in Discord. It is one agent for all of this, but each thread is its own OpenClaw session. All right, please talk through the implementation steps and the prompt skill for worktree branch. Yeah, okay, I'll get there. So setting up the implementation, Claude Code's writing the implementation plan, review it, post re-approval before any code gets written. So you can see here some things happened. So it created the work tree. All the work trees are under the project folder, created a branch name, and then the jump.sh dev server runner. We've got Rambly, wherever you are here. We've got the work tree got picked up, and so we have a separate instance running for this one. Let's see if it's running. Nope, it has a syntax error, of course, because I'm doing a live demo, so of course it would. But the idea is that it notices those work trees and it automatically runs them. Let's go back over here. This is taking much longer than I guess in my head. For some reason in my head, I thought this would be instant, but obviously it's not. Let me see. Turn-based workflow reduces problematic actions, changes CLIs. Okay, I agree with each leg of the lethal trifecta as a spectrum, and agents seem to be pretty well behaved, even though you may be technically providing all three legs. All right. Steinberger spoke about using discuss to get a plan refined that made sense before going to build. Your flow looks more prompt and respond by design. Have you tried different ways? I'm not quite sure what that YouTube video is. Not going to click on that just yet. Let's let's see. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's prompt and respond. I'll talk a little bit about what the skills are that are behind the feature development in a little bit, but let's see what we got. All right. So it got some phases. So it's kind of the plan. So the design is separate from the plan. Here's the plan. And then if I wanted, I could get the whole plan. So we've got the markdown. I could have it put that in Discord and I could see it. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. I've been working on eBPF, SOPS, handling of secrets so the agent never sees them. That's cool. All right. How long until agents are given a proper user? Yeah, that would be a good way of doing it. I mean, I'll get to this later, but I do like I like no friction. So if I mention a project, it just has it. There's no like real delay or anything like that. Man, part of me just wants to like skip the rest of the demo and just get to where I talk about it. And then the other part of me is really hoping that this does it. I guess we can just pretend that it did it. I'm going to move on. And then once I get the notification that it is done, we can take a look again. Ask Haku what it wants. All right. All right. So we did the demo. This is the moment where I knew that this was totally workable. Like this approach that you just saw still in progress was that options trading app I had built in my own sort of vanilla JS framework. And I got to the point where I just wanted it to be in React so that the agent could be, much more comfortable. Pretty big, a lot of different components, pages. It wasn't super trivial. It was definitely the type of thing that would have taken me a very long time, and even longer because I wouldn't have wanted to do it. I was super impressed. Like it like to the point. Like I said, it would have taken forever. I also wouldn't have. I would have procrastinated. It was so good that I really thought that it didn't do anything because it was perfect one-to-one. The only clue that it wasn't and that it actually did convert it to React is all of a sudden there were symbols that used to be symbols were now escaped Unicode. Okay, so I guess what you saw before in the Discord, there were enough of the clues, so you probably do know what happened. But one of the things that I guess like I would imagine people if they think about OpenClaw having OpenClaw do something is either OpenClaw is doing the editing itself because it's using Opus and it can do that, or it's doing one-shot prompts to either Codex or Claude. And it's not doing either of those. Let me actually jump back because I think it has something for us in Discord. Nope, it was just telling me that it was not. Okay, so let me tell you what's actually happening. So OpenClaw is actually opening tmux. So it is using the terminal and it is starting Claude. And then when it is telling Claude to do things, it is actually typing into the Claude prompt box. So we've got Discord. That's how I interface with it, like you saw. That is talking to OpenClaw. OpenClaw is running tmux and Claude Code. And then, of course, Homebase is how I test and verify it. All right, so I got asked how's token burn rate with your use cases. So I am using the the max Claude subscription. I'm using my Claude Code token exactly like I'm not supposed to be, and so far so good until of course it's not. But I haven't hit limits or anything like that. So All right. So one of the things that I like about this compared to what I was doing, you know, in the past, is that Discord is just really good on mobile. Like the yeah, yikes if you want to cut that out from the video before it goes up. So Discord, being able to like talk to the agent just on Discord, being able to get plans back and have it rendered in a very readable way is really nice. Tmux, this is pretty cool because I can open up terminal and I can see what the agent is typing into Tmux and Claude Code, which is really nice. Claude Code, especially for the thing that I'm not just going to mention again, it's really nice that the coding is going through the official sanctioned channel. So a lot of the tokens are going through the actual Claude Code app. OpenClaw, really good on the skills. It is really consistent with the skills. It's also really, excuse me, really easy to change the skills on the fly. So if it does something wrong, you can like tell it like, hey, how do we prevent that in the future? It'll rewrite its skills. What's really nice about this is that when it is prompting Claude Code, it is very consistent. So if I was talking to Claude Code myself, even though there are things that really help, like having it maintain a like an agent diary. Shout out to Slono because I've stolen his agent diary template. It was better than the one that I was using before. It is really consistent about putting that into the prompt for it to use it, which is even better than having it in Claude's, you know, Claude MD, which it sometimes ignores or not. But when it's in the prompt, it's much more specific. Of course, and then the work trees, really nice to have these URLs that I can hit on my phone. It's all closed off. It's via Tailscale, but it's really nice to go to Homebase and then be able to just click on a link for one of these dev servers or the work tree server. So all of these like small little things that came together really made this my you know, method of choice. So if you were to try and do this yourself, I think there's 11 things that I don't know, maybe not obvious. So the communication between OpenClaw and Claude Code, because of the way that the turns work, OpenClaw will type something into Claude Code will start working, and without anything else, you're not going to get OpenClaw to like go check it again. And so the whole point, you know, is defeated if you're the one that has to watch Claude Code and then tell OpenClaw to, you know, go do it. So this is done maybe unsurprisingly with Claude Code hooks. So this is on the notification hook. The way that this works is that the tmux session encodes the OpenClaw session. And so when the hook fires, that script can extract the session, the OpenClaw session, from the tmux session, and it can send the wake message like, hey, Claude Code's finished, go look at it, to the correct OpenClaw session that has the context for whatever this is. If it went to the main agent, it wouldn't. If it went to any of the other sessions, it wouldn't. So this is what keeps that all connected. Another super annoying thing with the tmux is Claude Code would just like type something in the Claude Code like entry box or paste it in is actually how it does it. And then it would not hit enter. It would think that Claude Code is off doing something, but it wouldn't. And then eventually I would be like, hey, you know, where is that thing? And then, you know, be like, oh crap, it never hit enter. So trying to like figure out how to get around that, I created my own, like, I guess, special tmux like tool that made it a lot more consistent. I don't know if this is really something that people don't know, but Claude Code will totally lie. And so a big part of OpenClaw here is to make sure that Claude Code is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I had mentioned Rambly, right? Rambly is the thing that we're working on. I taught OpenClaw how to do transcription and speech in there. I got the speech working, saw that that worked, so it could go into a room, it could do text to speech, it could say something to me. That was cool. I wanted the transcription to work and figured I could have an end-to-end loop where it could test itself because I knew it could say something, so therefore it could iterate until the transcription matched what it said. Claude Code totally cheated. It knew what it was spoken, and it just short-circuited the test. And so, you know, when OpenClaw went to check, it did its own test and saw that the transcription didn't match the thing that it was saying. Context compaction. One of the things that I really like about this model is it makes it much more robust to compaction. Before, I don't know, maybe a lot of you have figured out compaction, or I heard that Codex 5.3 doesn't have the same issues. But one of my most maddening points in Vibecoding would be when Claude Code compacts and loses, I don't know, its mind. One of the nice things is that OpenClaw, being the supervisor, is able to kind of like keep it going. And one of the ways that it does this is that it doesn't give Claude like the full plan. It uses clear like very liberally. It inlines the task, and it kind of keeps it pretty scoped. All right. The environment file symlink problem. So this is one of the reasons why I avoided work trees for the longest time. I felt like I was taking crazy pills because I never really heard anybody else talk about it. Maybe I just never looked, whatever it was. But the idea that I had to manually go copy the environment file over every time I created a work tree just made me never want to do it. Homebase will scan the work tree directories. When it sees one, it spins it up and it symlinks the environment file from the parent. Right. So home server is this dev server orchestration. It's kind of the other reason why I really hated work trees, is keeping track of ports and which port the dev server was on, and there'd be like conflicts and all kinds of other annoyance there. Again, a thing I didn't really see other people talk about, right? So the work tree scanner in Homebase, because this is all standardized, that all the work trees are in the .worktrees directories. In any project that it knows about, it can scan those, auto discover, symlink the environment file, create the subdomain where it's like the project -- branch, starts the dev server, and then it also can see when those are removed, and it does the cleanup. I touched on this before, that the thread ID is the routing key. So the tmux session encodes that. And so when the wake thread happens, it's able to get that back to OpenClaw. I also like ran into some weird stuff on the wake thread. So again, this is the Claude Code hook that tells OpenClaw when it's done, whatever its current, working on thing, to like go back and check it. There would be some like, I don't know. Part of this is a skill issue, and I think I just messed some things up, and I think I had too much going on. But pretty much if there was like more than one hook to like debounce it, and not have, I guess, multiple wakes going on. I think this is probably fixed a little bit. So here we're going to talk about the skills. When I was on a mobile interface, or anytime I'm prompting the agent and I'm doing it myself, the typing is pretty annoying. So even though I know that having the agent do a diary, because it helps during compaction and a lot of other things, it's a really good artifact to have, I don't always remember, or I will just hope for the best and not type it in because I'm lazy. Because that is in the skill of OpenClaw, it will always put it in. And so that's one of the things you can see if you're watching the tmux, and then you can watch it drive I guess I also, I also transcribe, but actually it's kind of annoying sometimes around other people, and I don't want to like talk into my phone that way. But yeah, OpenClaw is really good at being consistent on what it is putting into its prompts, which is nice. Okay, so these are all the skills that are going on when when I start one of those threads and it's doing feature development. So a real basic one, if it's not in a channel, or I guess even if it is in a channel related to a project, there's a simple skill for like where to find it on the file system of which project I'm talking about. Brainstorming, this one comes from the superpowers skills. That's where it's like interviewing me and giving me these like multiple choice responses for what I want. So that's where that came from. Also, superpowers was using the Git work trees, came from there as well. The thread tmux is one of the ones that I came up with to link the Discord threads in the OpenClaw session to tmux. Claude Code tmux is how to actually run Claude Code in tmux and to handle the, actually sending things and not sitting there forever. Claude Code supervisor is the one that is kind of like a complicated Ralph Wiggum loop, where that's the one that it knows that it's going to go tell Claude Code to do something. It's going to come back and say like, yeah, I did most of it. And then it's got to say, okay, well, finish it. And then also the verification and kind of telling it to like keep getting back to work. And then once it's all done, finishing a development branch, which is like pushing up a PR or, cleaning up the whole thing. I'm going to take a quick break back to see if we have the Rambly thing to look at. Is this one? Map? Okay. All right. Successfully verify the maps. Stop down. All right. So these messages here, this is when the wake, the Claude hook fires, and it's telling the OpenClaw that it's done. So you can see that there are multiple ones where it didn't actually come back to me. So it's like Claude Code comes to it goes, tells it to do some more stuff. I don't see it, and then it comes back. So it says that it did it. And so we can go ahead and see if that is actually true. I'm a little bit nervous because when we saw this before, there was like a import error. So fingers crossed. Oh, okay. Moment of truth. Whoa. All right. There we go. Let's see, David. Yep. Island. Maybe, maybe, maybe. All right. Yeah. There you go. We're on the island. There you go. And you can't see it, but the URL is good as well. So let's see. Let's go to the forest. Yeah. Cool. Well, that is lovely. I am pleased. Where were we? Okay. Cool. Persistence loop. So this is what I was just saying again about the like the complicated Ralph Wiggum. So send the task, make sure that it's complete, verify, retry until done. OpenClaw tries to do a like a checklist. I also added it where once the implementation's done, it sends it to Codex to be a persnickety bastard and also call Claude Code out on its shit, which I think helps. That's K versus tmux, right? So theoretically, this could be done in other ways. I really like the tmux version because I can see very easily what those prompts are. And when I tried it in other, other things like Happy or Amnara, it was just always, I could never really trust it. It would break in weird ways. And so that kind of brings me to the years now that I've been trying to get to this place, and this is now the farthest I've gotten and the happiest I've been with this. So the very first thing that I did was with Cursor. So I would just leave my laptop open. I'd have VNC on it. I would, on my phone, use screens and I would zoom and pan over to the sidebar of cursor and tell it what I wanted, and then it scroll, hit enter or whatever. I did have tailscale. I did have the dev servers running. I did not have home base, so I didn't have the cool jump.sh URLs. Yeah, well, terminal on phone is brutal. What's even more brutal is VNC and like screen sharing, especially when I'd have my laptop hooked up to a big widescreen monitor. And anyways, so I hated it. It did work, but it was painful as shit. The next thing that I did was I created like an Aider web thing. Eventually, Aider did create a web interface. This predated that. What I was doing here was I created I guess effectively it was like a Docker thing. You would give it a repo of whatever your project was. So like in this case, I would give it like Rambly's repo. I could also give it some keys. I could create a deploy key so that it could check out the code within the Docker container. It would also install Aider next to it, and then it would run I guess effectively a proxy, reverse proxy, so that if you went to the root, it would be Rambly. And then if you went to like /_Aider, you would then get a streamed terminal from running inside the container to the browser so that you could talk to Aider. And so you would tell Aider what you wanted changed, and then it would edit Rambly, and then Rambly could live reload in the other tab. Fun demo. Was obnoxious in its own lovely way. Also was expensive because it, I wasn't using instead of using cursor where I could use VC money, I was spending my own API tokens, and Aider, I don't know, was okay, but it wasn't. Anyways, the next thing that I attempt was Vibe. I never landed on a name. The idea for this was like multiplayer vibe coding in Discord. So we have the AI in action Discord bot. The dream was that we could all just in Discord make feature requests, and it would it would make those changes. I kind of touched on this before with like the SDK, and I guess why we use Tmux. It's a little bit different. Anyways, trying to get the terminal output from Aider in a way that streamed into Discord was brutal, and I hated it. Okay, this is like the longest running one, is just running Tmux and Claude Code and SSHing into it. This has been the bread and butter until OpenClaw came along. Just have a Linux server always running in my office, and that is at the point where I developed Homebase, and this was great. Totally worked, except that, I mean, having a terminal on your phone just sucks. Lots of issues with transcription, like Siri won't talk into it. Found Whisperflow. Whisperflow did work, which is good. Now, also in the same vein, you have things like Happy and Amnara, and their whole value proposition is SSH and terminal on a phone sucks. So they have lovely mobile interfaces to do that. Amnara started by trying to like scrape out the standard out from Claude Code. Anytime it was updated, it would break really hard. Kind of the same thing I was talking about with like getting Aider to go into Discord. And eventually they switched to using the SDK. I forget exactly what Happy is using right now, either the SDK or Terminal. I think Terminal. But either way, it's just like I could never trust it. It would like have disconnects. Happy wouldn't let you put in images. I think it might let you do that now. And like once Amnara switched to the SDK, I even lost the ability to open up Tmux and see if the prompts were getting through. So it just wound up being too frustrating to use those. I couldn't trust them. And so even though I played with them, I went back to SSH and terminal. And so here we are. OpenClaw, because it's using Tmux, I can go in, I can see what its Claude Code session is like. So I know what's going on. And I guess there's also just like this really nice part, which is that when I was using Tmux and SSH, like I would have to use the terminal to go into these different project folders and then start up Claude Code. And again, it was just like a lot more of this like terminal usage. The benefit of having OpenClaw do this and letting it run wild and hope maybe get pwned from a huge security issue is that I can just talk to OpenClaw. It's got free range on my machine, and I don't have to cd into different directories or run anything. It can just do that. Also, everything's in Discord, so it's got it's just like this one central place for me where I can see a lot of things, but it's also, it can see Discord. So I get a report at the end of the day of all the open loops. So it knows different things that I asked it to do that I ADD'd and didn't come back to and never merged or whatever. It can see all those things and, tell me like, hey, get on it. And I guess like this is sort of like another example. I think I mentioned this earlier. So like OpenClaw every day asks me what I want for lunch. I just type 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it will open up Grubhub, order the food, and it shows up at my office. And so it's just, I don't know. I think there's like the opposite of the Spider-Man quote. It is like with great responsibility comes great power. It's like if I want it to do more and more for me, I have to give it more and more access. And there is like this decrease in friction that comes from the centralization that I like. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess to wrap it all up, we got Discord, really nice on mobile. They spent a shit ton of effort getting that to work. Tmux makes it observable. Claude Code does the actual implementation, and you've got this sort of like complicated Ralph Wiggum loop that it can do. The skills, like anytime there's something that goes wrong, it's very easy for me to tell OpenClaw to update the skill or to pull something in. Homebase, really nice, especially once I figured out work trees with the symlinks and port, all the port stuff and getting the URLs. That's really nice. Before I had that, I was really shy about parallel tasks, and now I can really just go wild with it. And yeah, it's just really kind of interesting that even though like with OpenAI and having the OpenAI app and like it's got all the different threads, it just like does not work the same way. Did not hook me nearly as much as being able to have just this like one Discord server with everything. So we do have a little bit of time left. I'm actually pretty damn impressed with OpenClaw's generating a 45-minute presentation. I just have to say that right now. Okay, questions. I think we got, let's see. Oh, you guys couldn't see the game screen? Shit. Sorry. Is that true? Oh, you never saw the demo. Damn. Sorry. I wish someone was jumped in on the voice to tell me that. I am so sorry. Okay. So here's the Cyberpunk island. People can see it now, I hope. Yeah.
Yes, we can now.
All right, there we go. All right. Yeah. So all the different maps that were created before that people had to know the secrets. Well, now now there's a drop down, which is pretty cool. All right. All right. What are the other questions that I missed? Okay, are you extracting text from tmux panes then, or using the Claude Code streaming JSON input output? Extracting text from the tmux. Yeah, the Claude Code streaming JSON input output, that's the stuff that gave Nara such a brutally hard time that they switched to the SDK. I just like that OpenClaw is seeing the same thing in Claude Code that I am. It just makes it like, you know, I don't have to type into Claude Code like a farmer. Like I can have, you know, my guy do it. All right, the compartments.
Did you run into issues where like the tmux pane is scrolling, right? And sometimes it gets two tmux pane outputs that are like overlapping. Does it seem to just like handle that just fine?
Yeah, that has not been an issue. The way that the tool works for tmux is that it basically gets to choose how many lines it wants from the bottom. And so I think it just like defaults to getting the last 50 or 100 lines or something to see what it wanted. And I think it's smart enough that if it wasn't enough, it'll ask for more.
On that tmux tool, is that an MCP, a skill, a plugin, some glue code you custom did, or is it just the scripts that you
the tmux integration?
Yeah.
So OpenClaw came with one, and so that is what it started with, and then I have a tool on top of that which standardizes how it creates the tmux sessions such that it encodes the OpenClaw session ID to like tie them together. So I have like a very simple tool that builds on or just like copy paste whatever was in the other tmux one to like do the 4 standard actions of like creating one, getting the text out of it, cleaning up, and I don't know, I forget whatever else.
Yeah, I had a related question just to this part as well. Like I was getting a little bit confused as to where you've customized certain things. So with that tmux skill, because now that Claude Code kind of can spawn its own subagents, do you have to specify in there that when your OpenClaw instance wants to do something, it has to spin up a separate tmux session per agent? Or does it just do that without spinning subagents in the initial instance? Does that make sense?
Let me see if I understand. So you're asking whether OpenClaw needs to do something like spin up multiple Claude codes, or maybe I'm not understanding.
So basically what is happening when it breaks down a particular feature request?
Okay.
Is
yeah,
it's spinning up. Yeah.
I'll tell you what's happening, and hopefully that'll answer your question. And if not, just let me know. So the first step is, hey, I want this feature. That kicks off the brainstorming skill, and so it's going to be asking me a bunch of questions. Once that's finished, OpenClaw, we haven't gotten to Claude Code yet. OpenClaw is putting together effectively a design document or like a design brief. At that point, it then opens up tmux and Claude Code in a work tree that it's created. It spawns Claude Code, gives it the design brief, and asks Claude Code to come up with a plan. Once it has the plan, it writes that to a file, and then it basically does what Claude Code would do for you automatically, where it's like, all right, should I clear context and like get going? OpenClaw is going to clear its context, and OpenClaw is going to take just whatever the first phase of the plan is and put that into Claude Code and tell it to go. So it's almost like, I don't know, duplicating the work by not letting Claude Code do its standard, sub agent plan breakdown or whatever. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I'm trying to give more control to OpenClaw to be the supervisor and have like responsibility for the different phases and the like acceptance criteria, and take that away from Claude. Does that answer your question? Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there any other question that I missed?
classic question
No?
I always ask, like, where do you want to go next?
Where do I want to go next? I mean, there's just like so many like fiddly rough edges that I think come from the agent not always respecting its skills, and I can't really predict when that's going to happen. Like sometimes it will just open a work tree in the wrong place, but it is really consistent, but it's just, I don't know, one time out of 15 it won't. And I don't know if that's like I was going to say a skill issue. Did not intend that pun. Like, maybe it's just the way that I have it set up. Like I'm not doing it right. Or, like sometimes it's not going to send it over to Codex to like check the implementation. Or a big one is like whether or not it's like OpenClaw is really doing a good enough end-to-end verification. I would say that's probably one of the things that I find to be, there's a couple of things that I find to be really important that I have not like really nailed, which would be some like test driven development, like getting a test that really matters, that really encapsulates whether or not this feature is done, for a user. Having OpenClaw go check and make sure that that fails. Having Claude then build the thing and then OpenClaw go check that it passes. I find that is really hard for me, could be a skill issue, for it to be consistent about that and not, cheat me. So that I think would be great. Yeah.
So what is your workflow like? How much are you actually having to sit down and carefully scope out tasks versus going to the cafe and basically being able to do everything from your phone?
Oh, I mean, I think you pretty much just saw it, right? Like, that is very, very common. Don't get me wrong, like it can really piss me off. Like I definitely have a pretty bad temper when it comes to agents not doing what I want. I'm ashamed to say. So that, it doesn't always go perfectly, but this is generally the workflow that I use now. Even when I am at a desktop, I am doing it through Discord. It works that well.
Can I just say this is fucking awesome. I'm so happy that you shared this and I've set it up for myself. And you have a repo or something where you explain, or we can
man,
dig
no,
into some of your
I think maybe
customizations?
I think Zach, maybe that's where I go next, is like try and put this together. By all means, like any question you have, just like hit me in the Latent Space Discord, because it'd be good to have that prompting of like what should be put out first, and what people actually care about. And yeah, I'll be happy to start putting that together for folks.
Yeah, I guess I'll add that my David Guttman's presentation on OpenClaw for all your AGI needs is I'm happy with that description here today. It's this is going to be a pretty fun one to play with.
All right. Well, I think that's it. If you want to see some of my other weird projects, they're all at david.app. And thanks for coming.
Perfect timing too. We are exactly at 2:00. So the
OpenClaw nailed it.
Exactly, right? Got 5 minutes right on the money.
I got a question. Yeah, Rambly's open. You can use Rambly for whatever. And yeah, I taught Rambly or OpenClaw how to join Rambly, so that's coming soon.
Sick. Well, yeah, you can use the bot in Discord if you want to sign up for another talk. I think we have one maybe next week, but yes,
swyx, I think.
Is this swyx? Cool.
I think so.
Sweet. Yeah, well, we got one on the docket, but we want you to come through and show us, even if it's not as cool, or if it's not done, or if it's just a thing you're experimenting with. As long as it's interesting, we want you to come through and show us, so we can hack on it with you potentially, or at least know about it, because it's important to do that these days. But I think with that, we can just call it a wrap there. Thank you, everybody, for coming through, and happy Friday. Enjoy your OpenClaws and hackings and other things. GG.